So, One Piece chapter 1020 was just released there recently, and such an awesome chapter, I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed it. Started off with a bang with some Yamato stuff, which we'll get into now, but oh man, after a week of waiting, bro, I was... Honestly, it was a long week, it really was, for various reasons, with all the heat in Ireland and all this jazz, but now it's back to normal, so I'm not dying of heat stroke while I'm doing this. That's why nothing really came out in the last week, because I tried to record twice. I got one done, but I was dying of heat. I could barely stay in that room to actually make the thing. So now that the heat's back to normal, I'm good. But that's off topic. Let's start with Yamato versus Kaido. We actually get a lot in this chapter about the Yamato and Kaido fight, and it seems pretty back and forth, to be honest. Like, Yamato's getting a few blasts in, then Kaido's getting a few hits in, and then they do this like Sasuke and Itachi thing, where it's like the clash of blast burns. Well, what do they call it? It wasn't blast burn, it was something else. But it was so cool, and actually it was a really cool nod to Naruto. I know that probably wasn't intentional, but it was a really cool nod to Naruto, kind of like a flame style jutsu clash. It was kind of like that. I really enjoyed that, especially considering they're also also related. It really fit very well with this chapter. We also figured out that Yamato is a dog. That is the mythical dog fruit, which, I mean, no one was expecting that. It literally, everyone was like tiger, and Oda goes the complete opposite route. He's like, "No, let's do its enemy. We do a dog now instead, because a tiger's a cat." So you know what? I appreciate that, Oda. I love dogs, so more reason to like Yamato, I guess. I know, it was a really good chapter. Really loved it. And really good reveal for her devil fruit. I'm glad they told us straight off the bat. A tiger with horns, though, is a bit weird. Those horns have to be something to do with her actual blood, then. I think that gives credence to the ancient China theory. I'm pretty sure now at this point with that reveal. Unless the mythical dog has horns, I don't know. But basically it's the guardian of Wano, apparently. So by that logic now, I'm kind of split right now. I feel like Oda's been pushing for us to believe that she's going to join the crew, just to now say with the whole Devil Fruit review that she'll stay in Wano, because she has to guard Wano. But at the same time, if she does that, she would be in part, giving in to her father's wishes. And I feel like the whole storyline is her breaking away from her father. So there's so much... for me, it's like a 60-40 split at this point, whether she'll join the crew after this chapter. Because we can see build up for her staying in Wano as the guard dog of Wano. Or we can see build up of her not doing that because that's what Kaido wants her to do, kind of. So by not doing that, she will be breaking away from her father and becoming an independent character. So we could see that as well. There's so many ways Oda could go about this, and I'm really happy about how he's done it. It was a really, really good chapter with how he went about it. I was really, really happy about it. And honestly, as I said, that fight was amazing. But honestly, I must say, I loved it. But for me, it wasn't the best part of the chapter, because we finally got some Robin action, boys, and Brook as well. And I have to say, Brook and Robin as a team is actually pretty cool, and they suit each other so well in terms of fighting styles. Oh, it was so cool to see the first half of that fight where like you see all of Robin's like friends, or all of Robin's like closest people in her life from the past that have died as illusions. It was real sweet to see them drawn in Oda's modern style, because we haven't seen them since Enies Lobby. All of them at this point, right? Because Saul wasn't mentioned after Enies Lobby. Neither was Olivia or what was the professor's name? But yeah, so it was really cool to see them drawn in Oda's style, Oda's new style. Well, I mean, it's a similar style, but it's a more advanced style now, so he's having more experience, and it was nice to see them drawn like that. On top of the fact that she just completely disregards it, which I think is very Robin-like, and how Brooke and her have a bonding moment over, we've seen this so many times, all the illusions of them being alive. It was a depressing bonding moment, but a bonding moment nonetheless. And Robin says, "We're two peas in a pod," and I was like, "Yeah, that's sweet." Honestly, now that was such a cool thing. I was like, "All right, I'm ready for this 2v1." But no, 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 no. Brooke is like, after she insults, because Black Maria insults Robin, being like, "You know, there's so many people coming after you that your crew's just gonna abandon you." And instead of going on like, "No, she's our friend. No, we would never do that." They hit like, it's like a Yonko crew. It's like some kind of carefree Yonko crew. Brooke's just like, "All right, I know she pushed a few of your buttons. I'm assuming you want me to get out of here and let you handle this, yeah?" And she's like, "Yeah." And it's like a mutual understanding, and it's so cool to see because you can see how far they've progressed. They don't even need to ask each other anymore. The only reason Sanji did was because he has a mental block over asking for help from female characters, as he feels it's chivalrous. So that's why they made a big moment out of what Sanji did. Also mentioning here that like that meant a lot to her being relied on. So it was a real good. This moment really helped because it also showed the understanding all these Straw Hats have for when to let people deal with their own issues. I really appreciated that. It really makes it feel like they're a Yonko crew. They're just like, "Yeah, you can deal with this. I'll let you go." Like, it was just so cool. It made them seem like a Yonko crew, someone that can literally just be like, "Oh yeah, I'll deal with this on my own." They just pissed me off a little. Let me sort it out on my own. And I think that's the hallmark of a Yonko crew, and I'm really, really happy about it. The absolute understanding of them. And Brooke's just taking out the demons, did he call it? Was it some sort of illusion demon things that she has? And honestly, bro, like the fight between Black Maria and Robin was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Even when Brooke was still in it, the way she used her her devil fruit to fight was real cool with like all the nets and shit. And then like Gigantafleur, obviously. It was a real cool fight and very unique, and honestly showed how creative Oda can still be with fights after hockey was introduced. Now, I do feel like because Black Maria has armament hockey, Robin's gonna have to show off armament hockey at some point here. Like, it's gonna be a necessary thing to defeat Black Maria, but we can just assume now that she's fighting Black Maria that she does have it. I mean, it would be a bit odd for her not to have it, considering she did train with Dragon for like 2 years. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to the fight now. It's been real fun, really entertaining actually. A really entertaining fight so far. I love this chapter. Honestly, it was another fucking banger, 10 out of 10 chapter. Now there was a bit more after that. There was a bit more after this, but let's go back to the Robin and Black Maria fight because it was so good. Honestly, the way it was drawn, and it was so well drawn and very creative in ways they fought. Also, seems like she can literally make a Buddha statue now, like a Buddha statue sized Robin now to fight with, which is really cool. Which is really fucking cool. Robin just like this Onigashima Ward is doing Robin wonders because she hasn't had a fight for ages, and it's way better than Dressrosa, where she was worst character's bodyguard. So I'm very happy with this. Robin getting the upgrades this arc. Robin getting the combat upgrades. Let's go. All we need now is like her to actually show off her hockey, and we'll be all good. But the end of the chapter goes back to Luffy for a bit because obviously we need to look. Main character needs a way to get back up, and basically kind of brushes Momo's concerns about Kiku and Kinemon up, and he's like, "Look, mate. People are gonna die. You're a leader. You have to be able to mourn later and focus on the battle at hand at the moment." And you know what? I know people might say that's a bit harsh to say to a kid, but that means a lot coming from Luffy, which I think you have to understand. Because the second he saw Ace die, he collapsed. But now after 2 years, he realizes if that happens to one of his crew, he will have to continue fighting. He can't just forget everything and cry. He has to keep fighting and keep strategizing and keep being a good leader if something bad happens to a crewmate. And he's saying that to Momo, and I feel like what this means is Momo is going to enact this, and then later on in the story at some point, Luffy is going to have to take his own advice, so to speak, which I think is really cool to see. I really enjoyed that part for Luffy because it shows how much he's growing as a leader. Do you know what I mean? He is the Vivi of this arc. If anything, it's like a reverse situation from when Vivi and Luffy in Alabasta, and I really enjoy it. And you know what? As I love Alabasta, I love Vivi, and it's great. It's a great way to contrast the two eras, the pre and post time skip. I think it really is. Because Luffy and Vivi have switched places, or I guess, well, no. Like, Luffy is now in Vivi's place and Momo is in Luffy's place. That's what I meant to say. And I loved it. I really did. I think this chapter was one of the best we've had so far. I really enjoyed this chapter. Honestly, I fucking loved it. There's so much. Now, I think at this point, we're going to see Momo with the dragon form meet Kaido. I don't know how he's going to react, though. Because obviously he's asked to fly up with Luffy. I don't know how he's going to react. I'm trying to think now. How he might react. Maybe he'll know. Maybe. Do you know what? I'm thinking that seeing that will trigger his flashback. That might be what we're going for, boys. They're going to trigger the flashback by seeing Momo. That's going to be sick. Alright, I just thought of that now. Because he'll see a dragon form. And maybe he was experimented on, maybe something happened, or maybe he originally looked like that when he was smaller. So it triggers a flashback, and that's how we get the Kaido flashback. Oh, that would be kind of funny, to be honest. Momo triggering the Kaido flashback. You know what? I'm very happy with how this chapter went. Honestly. A really banger chapter. Although, is it still off for the Olympics, by the way? I wonder, is it off next week? Do we have another break or what's going on? Because if we do, I mean, he really did a great job for another break chapter. But I have to ask, Oda, please give us another cover story at this point. Mate, I don't want to see Koshiro in cover art requests. I do not give a shit about that guy. I just want to have a cover story at this point. But other than that, it was a 10 out of 10 chapter and I really enjoyed it. I think we might have a break next week, which is disappointing, but an absolutely amazing chapter. Loved it so much. Hashtag Robin Action and hashtag Best Doggo Yamato. That's all I'm going to say.